Hello, happy April. I was thinking about doing monthly what I read this month videos. So every month I would recap all the books I read that month and give you the full breakdown, all the thoughts about all of the books I've read. However, I read quite a bit of things that I don't necessarily care to talk about. I've mentioned in a few videos that sometimes I read just to quiet the anxious thoughts in my mind and not necessarily for any enjoyment purpose. I was thinking of other ways that I could share about what I read on a regular basis and also share just what I have enjoyed that month. The thought came to me when filming a vlog. I was talking about I've loved YouTube for a very long time, and one of the things I used to especially love were favorites videos. I devoured a monthly favorites video. They were something that I could, you know, expect to happen on a regular basis. They were organized, they had a format. I love a list, but I'm not someone who is constantly trying new products or constantly buying new clothes. I'm not doing a lot of new things, if that makes sense. I'm someone who enjoys the routine. I'm someone who kind of sticks to the same old. I would love to start making favorites videos, but they won't be the kind of favorites videos necessarily that I watched. I'm not going to be trying different skincare products or buying things from different brands. I'm really gonna just share things that were really good this past month. Activities I did, food I ate at a restaurant, an experience I had, a book that I read. I want this to be like a low consumer favorites video series, if that makes sense. So I've made a little list in my journal of some different categories. I think that, you know, we'll see how March in review goes, and if I care to make one about April, then I will. For now, we'll just test out March and see if it's fun for me to make and to edit and for people to watch and enjoy. And I'll tell you about the things I've read as well, and I'll only go on tangents for the things that I really loved. Without further ado, let's do March in review. First, I would love to talk to you about food. In March, I have 3 standout food things to share with you. It is only the second day of April, and I already have things in April that I look forward to sharing, but we're going one month at a time. So in March, the first thing I'd like to share with you is Chobani coffee creamer. I mentioned in a vlog that I got just the Trader Joe's like oat milk creamer, and I said it's good. The Chobani one's very good. The oat milk one's fine. After having had the oat milk one, after previously having had the Chobani one is much better. I was looking for a good coffee creamer. I had never been much of a coffee creamer girl. Turns out I still had some foods I was afraid of, even this far into a recovered body. So coffee creamer was one of them. I had previously just been using like honey and almond milk or soy milk. Coffee creamer for some reason just made me anxious. I don't know why. So had to get coffee creamer. Clearly. My friend Riley recommended the Chobani coffee creamer. She said she personally did not like vanilla. I like vanilla, so I tried it. It is actually very excellent, and it lasts a long time. It is worth the price. My local grocery store often has it on sale, and as soon as I finish the Trader Joe's one, I will be going back to the Chobani. It was quite delicious. In March, I celebrated my 27th birthday on March 27th. So it is a golden birthday year for me, and I ate a lot of delicious food on my birthday. The first thing on my birthday that I want to mention is a delicious lunch. My best friend and I went out for lunch, and I got a very tasty miso ramen from a restaurant called Ramen Gaijin in Sebastopol, which is very close to where I live. If you live around here or you're visiting Sonoma County, put Ramen Gaijin on your list. It's so delicious. This particular dish could be made vegan, so if you're a vegan, it's an option. It had like lots of seaweed and mushrooms and noodles and tofu and half an egg. I wish I could eat it again right now. It was very good. Also on my birthday, Sam, my fiance, baked me a birthday cake. This was Sam's first time baking a cake, and he did a great job. He baked it from scratch. It was a lemon vanilla cake with an Earl Grey whipped cream frosting and berries on top. I have some pictures of him frosting the cake, and I also have pictures of the cake finished. I love a cake with berries on it, but not a very sweet cake with like a whipped cream frosting. I like a cake where I could eat it any time of day. I like a cake where I will have it for breakfast the next morning. So those are some standout food things from this month. There's plenty more, but I didn't get this idea until halfway through the month, so I wasn't keeping very good track. So April will be more cohesive. Next on my list is I want to share some of my excellent thrift finds from March. The first thrift find that I want to share is this beautiful basket. It's actually sitting on the stump in my backyard right now. It's drying. I just cleaned it today. I found this beautiful basket for $5 at the Goodwill, and I just love it very much. I'm looking at it right now. I don't even know what's gonna go in it yet, but it's big and it's beautiful, and it's like, what can I say? I love a basket, okay? I have a vision that it will live in my car maybe, and it can be somewhere I store my yoga equipment. Right now, all of my yoga equipment and supplies just kind of like sits in the back seat and kind of gets in the way when I'm moving things for work or if I'm driving someone somewhere. So I can just pick this whole basket up and move it into the trunk or into the house if I need to. It's a very good basket. What can I say? On my birthday, after having a delicious lunch at Ramen Gaijin, Alex and I went shopping, and there is a Copperfield's bookstore in Sebastopol, and I work at Copperfield's Books, just a different location. And so we went and did a little birthday book shopping, and I bought a book that I've been really looking forward to reading. A coworker of mine had recommended it. It's called The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. I see it every day at work, and it's been on my mind for months now. So I bought it at Copperfield's and immediately after we went to a thrift store, and I found it at the thrift store after having just bought it. And it was only $1, brand new copy at the thrift store. So I returned the one I bought from the bookstore and ended up buying something else and have my brand new $1 copy of The Berry Pickers, which I'm very excited to read. I think it's gonna go pretty high up on my list of next reads because I think I'm really gonna like this one. Lastly, I have thrifted 2 new pairs of pajama pants. I am just on a comfy pajama pant kick thrifting right now. I don't know what it is. I just am having such good luck thrifting really soft pajama pants. I think PJ pants to me, in like memory, like if I'm imagining pajama pants, which I don't often do, they're kind of that like fuzzy blanket material, which kind of skeeves me out as a texture and textile person. That material, it's on the category of velvet, right? I would like to not touch it. It just always feels a little dirty. However, I have been opened up to the world of like cotton pajama pants where they're just like normal pants, just comfortable, breathable, long pants. I have found 2 pairs this month that are just like elite pajama pants. The first one, blue and white stripes, an excellent find. I thrifted the pair in Santa Cruz when I visited my sister for a day. It was a great thrift find. I was really pleased. They're super comfortable. They're a little big, but I kind of like that. I just am always comfortable wearing them. And then the second pair were in my last video, the vlog of the whole week, and they're green with these beautiful like light colored leaves. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about them, but I wore them for pretty much a week straight, so they're very comfortable. I've just really been prioritizing comfort in my clothing lately, and it is a really good thing. I'm always comfortable. However, I am gonna have to start kind of revamping my wardrobe as the seasons change because I've kind of forgotten how to dress for warmer weather. So I'm gonna have to do a little closet audit soon, kind of refigure out what I've got going on in the closet and in the dresser. So those are my favorite thrift finds of this past month. I did more thrifting in March than I had the previous month. It's a low cost activity if you are able to restrain yourself and not overbuy. I have been feeling like I'm pretty content with the items I have in my life and in my home. So I haven't been purchasing as much, but it's really fun to look. I also thrifted like a ton of glass Tupperware on my birthday as well, because Sam and I had a bunch with broken lids and we needed some new ones. So household things that I like wouldn't, most people would think to just go buy new, but thrift stores have tons. They have tons of glass Tupperware. It's time for me to talk about what I read in March. I read, I believe, 7 books in March. Let me pull up my Storygraph account. Storygraph is the most wonderful book tracking app. If you have been a Goodreads user, please consider switching to Storygraph. It's just designed so much better. It's worth the switch, I promise you. Okay. Ooh, this is not super pleasing to look at. I read 7 books in March. I did read a couple big ones. I read a lot of new releases in March as well. So the first book I finished in March was Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. I gave it a 1.75, which is generous of me. Next, I read the graphic novel Christie and the Walking Disaster, which is number 16 in the Babysitter's Club graphic novel series. Gave it a 4. I really love the Babysitter's Club. Next, I read Onyx Storm, which is the new Fourth Wing book by Rebecca Yarros. It took me a long time to get through. I read a good chunk of it in March, but I had started it in January. I did a whole vlog actually on my thoughts about that I will link if you would like to watch, but I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next, I read The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, also 3.5. I read Sunrise on the Reaping. I got an early copy of Sunrise on the Reaping, and I gave it 5 stars. It was my favorite book that I read this month, and I will talk about it in just a moment. I read Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, which is also a new release. Did not love. I gave it a 2.5. And then I ended the month reading Marilla of Green Gables, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. That's by Sarah McCoy. It was very good. Someone recommended it to me in my comments. If you're watching this, thank you very much. It was a great read. One of my favorites this month. But I will say my favorite one that I read this month was definitely Sunrise on the Reaping. It was incredible. I just think it's one of the best in her series. She just gets better and better, and the more we know about the world of the Hunger Games, the more meaning we can get out of the Easter eggs she gives us. It's really just a very special series and a very special book. I highly recommend. I will say, if you are someone who found yourself really interested in Sunrise on the Reaping, but you didn't read Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes, maybe you just watched the movie for it, I highly recommend going back and reading the book for Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes. I do still think that that book is my favorite in her whole series. If you don't like snow and that is your kind of reason for not having read the book so far, please give it a go. Obviously none of us like Snow, President Snow. He's the villain, and that's the point. An unreliable narrator, and it's just one of her best crafted books in my opinion. It's worth the read, I promise. Next on my list is video games. I have been a video game girl again. I was a huge video game girl during the pandemic, and like right around like 2020 to 2023, most of my time was spent playing on my Nintendo Switch. Sam has a PlayStation. I've watched him play some games, but I haven't expressed a lot of interest in using the PlayStation just because it's kind of his thing and I've had my own things that I've been doing. However, I really wanted to do something different together, and so we started playing the game called It Takes Two. It's been out for a while. It is the coolest puzzle cooperation game that I have truly ever played. It's so fun. It reminds me so much of Breath of the Wild and the Zelda games I have played before, but we're obviously working together as a team. The storyline is really cool. I really like the visuals of it. If you are someone who plays games and you have someone you play games with, whether it's a friend or a partner, definitely try It Takes Two if you haven't before. It's really fun. We haven't finished the game yet, but we're definitely enjoying it so far. For TV shows and like other media and movies, Sam and I watched all of The Residents, which is another Shonda Rhimes show on Netflix, and it was so good. It's a murder mystery that takes place in the White House, and one of the White House staff is killed. They bring in an outside detective to try to solve the crime. The detective, Cordelia Cupp, is like my favorite. I love her so much. I think she might go down as one of my favorite fictional characters in TV shows like ever. Like, she's that good. I found her so fun and quirky, and I just enjoyed it a lot. We watched it so fast because we wanted to know what happened so badly. It was really, really captivating. For things I've made this month, I have 3 to talk about. The first one is I'm actually sitting on it. I said they were my favorite. I didn't say they were well done. I made these cushions. They're technically for the backyard, but I've actually been using them in the living room a lot as floor cushions. I love to sit on the floor. We eat a lot of our dinners at the coffee table, and I like to sit on the floor. This is really comfortable. I like having them. I have 2 of these cushions now. Showed how I made them in my Onyx Storm reading vlog because I was procrastinating finishing that book. So I have these, and they're very comfy. I had this old journal that I had got from the sale section at a bookstore years ago, like probably in 2021. Notebook just wasn't really my style anymore, but I didn't want to go buy a new one. I'm getting pretty close to finishing this notebook with the amount of time I've been writing these days. So I needed a new one soon. I didn't really want to buy one, but I did have this red gingham fabric and some quilt batting. So I just hot glued it onto my notebook, and now I have a really cute red gingham notebook that I love now and I'm excited to use. Note to self, if there's something you have that's just not quite right, you can just fix it instead of buying something new. It was really fun to make too. There's something about crafting, like small things, that is so satisfying. Like I feel so accomplished when I make something small that I know I'm gonna use. So many craft things that I have done like in previous years, I make them and then they just sit in a drawer and I don't really like it. There are so many craft things that just don't get used. I know I'm gonna use it because I'm always gonna need a journal, right? I'm always gonna fill one up. I'm gonna need somewhere to sit, right? So thinking about how I can actually use the things before I craft them, it's very helpful. Speaking of, one of my goals for this year was to improve my skincare and skincare routine because I have been breaking out a lot. I'm 27 now. I think I might be hormonal, but I don't really have good health insurance to figure it out right now. So we're trying to figure some things out at home first and make sure that it's not the skincare routine that I'm doing. It looks like it might be my skincare routine because Sam has helped me to pick new skincare products. Skincare things is one of his like super passions. Like he's really good at figuring out skincare things. So he helped me kind of use some different products, and I'm not really, I don't feel confident enough to talk about really what I'm doing with skincare, so I'm not going to. But the one thing I will say is I needed little cotton pads to apply certain skincare products and to remove makeup. Years ago, when I say years, I mean like it was 2016 or 2017. I made a YouTube video about how to make cotton rounds, reusable cotton rounds. It was my first video to ever like get big. It got like 40,000 views. I don't even know if it's public anymore. If it's public, I'll link it because it's insane. Called the fabric the wrong type of material. I like used circles because I wanted to look like cotton rounds, and then everyone in the comments told me I was being wasteful for not just doing squares. I made new ones because those ones I have since used to take off nail polish, and so I don't really want to use them on my face. So I made new ones. I have cropped t-shirts in the past and kept the material, just plain cotton t-shirts, and I cut them up into little squares, and now I have 7 reusable cotton squares that I can use and wash and reuse on my face. Such an easy project, and it saved me like 15 bucks from buying reusable cotton rounds online, or even more from buying just disposable cotton pads. This is a PSA to use what you have instead of buying things. I've got 2 little sections left. I have how I spent my time that I want to talk about. Favorite ways that I have spent my time in March. Obviously, March it's a long month, and it's hard for me to say all the ways I spent my time. But here are some of the highlights. I have made a lot of YouTube videos in March, and it felt really good. It was so fun to make things again. I have truly missed the process of editing, the excitement that I get to upload a video, making thumbnails, sharing it, replying to comments, like the whole process, beginning to end, is really exciting and fun, and something that I really missed. So it's been really enjoyable to get back into it and for people to enjoy them. And it makes me happy that people do. Gardening. I have not done much, but I have prepped and prepared the garden for April. I'm hoping that pretty soon we can get some more legitimate plants in the ground. Right now, everything is just kind of ready and waiting for it to be warm enough. I think we're at the point where it's warm enough. I have a lot of seed starts that have sprouted and are gonna be ready to go in the ground here pretty soon. Really want to start using Carmen in the Garden's gardening schedule on her Substack. She has kind of a planting schedule, and I read her Substack. I'm obsessed with Carmen in the Garden. I think she lives in Southern California, so while we're kind of in slightly different climates, we're kind of on the same planting schedule, me being in Northern California. So I think I'm gonna give it a go, and I'm hoping to film more garden things in the future, so I will keep you posted on the garden happenings. Obviously baking. I've been having so much fun baking. Just making things in general has felt so good lately. Spring cleaning. I have found so many little things about the house that I have been cleaning and fixing, and just like getting ready for things being opened up again, right? Cleaning some windows, cleaning the back porch, cleaning things in the house, like just tidying things up, refreshing things, switching out art prints and stuff. Getting ready for springtime. I've also been really enjoying audiobooks. I didn't mention this in the books section because it did feel like something of how I'm spending my time. I'm really trying to cut down on my screen time, social media wise. I have found short form videos in any platform really just deplete me of any morale and enjoyment of life that I have. And there's just no way I can control the ability of scrolling at this time. Like I can't just like watch a couple and turn it off. Like it's really that addictive to me. I've been cutting it out and just cutting my screen time as low as I can. Just really accepted the fact that short form videos are not my cup of tea. I like a long form video. I like short form videos. They're really enjoyable and addictive, but they don't make me feel good, if that makes sense. I have been swapping out a lot of screen time with audiobooks while I am doing things. So right now I'm listening to Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and I've been listening while I garden or while I fold laundry, while I clean things, and it's just been really nice to have it as something that connects me from one activity to the other. I have not yet been an audiobook in the car person because that is where I listen to my writing playlist and cry about my characters' tragic backstories. Next on my list, however, is writing. So, as some of you know, I have been writing a YA fantasy book for pretty much my entire life. At some point in my life, it was not YA. In my early 20s, it became a YA book, and it is near finished. It's nearly done. It is approximately 120,000 words at this time, like 450 pages. It's a long book. I'm really excited about it. I have been working on this, obviously, like I said, for like 20 years. I created the characters when I was actually 7 years old. It's so exciting to see them finish their journey, and obviously the story has taken different shapes and forms, and it's not the same book it is now. It has not taken me 20 years to write this much. It has taken me 4 years to write this much. I have started from scratch during the pandemic with the same characters in the land and the storyline kind of, you know, staying true to Little Char's vision to some degree. Obviously they've grown up quite a bit too. I did lose the whole document in my teens. I had a computer virus and I lost the entire document, and so I started from scratch in my 20s. I'm actually so glad I did, because it is much better now than it ever would have been if I finished as a teenager. So I'm really excited that it's almost done. I have posted the prologues on my Substack. So there's prologue part 1 and prologue part 2, and I'll link it below if you're interested. My Substack is always linked below in all of my recent videos that I've posted. If you'd like to read the beginning, it's there. It's very special to me, and I hope that it gets you excited about the magic world that I've built. But I have been spending many hours every day at my computer writing and revising and getting it ready for many reading eyes. The last thing I'd like to do at the end of my monthly favorites is to share what I'm excited about for the coming month, because I've had a really hard time looking forward to things lately, and I'd like to get better at that. I get a little doom and gloom, and I want to get better at getting excited about things and looking forward to the short term, not just the long term that feel kind of out of reach. Like, what are we excited about for the short term? So here's what I'm excited about for April. I'm excited about my sourdough. So my manager is an excellent baker and bakes sourdough bread. I asked if he would share some sourdough starter with me, and he gave me so many thoughtful tips and instructions and a recipe. And I'm looking forward to starting my sourdough journey. Technically, I have already baked my first sourdough loaf. I baked it yesterday. I'm also really looking forward to going camping. Sam and I are scheduled to go camping during his spring break, which is next week. So we're gonna go camping for 2 nights. We've never been camping together. I haven't gone camping in like 6 years, I think. So I'm really excited to go camping together. I'm really excited for more gardening. I obviously mentioned before that I've been working on my garden, and I'm really excited for April. I think April's a huge month for working in the garden, getting things in the ground. So I'm really excited to start the growing process. I've been waiting for this part. I can only do so much weeding and preparing of like garden beds. I'm like really ready to get things in the ground. I'm really excited to read some new books. So I have set a goal for myself that I wasn't going to buy or acquire any new books until I finished everything I had. However, since making that goal, I have brought home like 12 books. So I have a lot to read, but I'm really excited to really like dive into some good stuff. Like I said, I read a lot of things just to read and not really for any other purpose. Like I'm really just reading to like quiet the brain. I think I can do that and read really good stuff. I don't think I have to read things that are just mindless. I think I can do both. I'm looking forward to reading some really good books this month. Lastly, I'm excited to finish writing my book, which I have hopefully scheduled properly that I can finish it in April. And I'm really excited to get some character art done. I have previously commissioned an artist to draw my characters. However, it was a few years ago and my characters have changed quite a bit since then. The story has aged up from like a middle grade book to a YA book. And so I want the art style to kind of match that style of my book. And I found an artist that I think will match the book very well. I love my original character art that I commissioned a few years ago. It's wonderful and is very special to me, but my characters have changed a lot and they've grown up a lot, and so has the story, and I think it's time I get to see them in a different way. I'm really excited to get those and to share it with you when it's ready. And that's my list of what I'm excited for April. Oh, I liked this. This was fun. This was a nice little month in review. Really looking forward to April. Already know that there are things in April, like within 2 days, like literally yesterday, April 1st, so many things happen that I'm so excited about that are going to happen in the month of April. This like calm little moment before so many exciting and lively things start to happen in my life. I hope you enjoyed this video and this kind of old school sit down March favorites style video. I don't know if maybe this was just me, but those favorites videos, like they really had a good grip on me. I don't know, there was just something so orderly about it that I just really enjoyed. Like I said, if you would like to read my prologue, it'll be linked down below. I hope you enjoy it if you do give it a read. Let me know what you think about a monthly favorites video, if this is a good place for me to share what I've read. I just feel like the book videos are so much fun to share, and not everyone's here for the book videos, so this might be a good middle ground. This could be a little something for everyone. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!